Basement Jaxx. Het baanbrekende debuut van het duo, Remedy, zal ongetwijfeld verkozen worden tot een van de belangrijkste cd's van 1999. Vorige week trad Basement Jaxx op in een uitverkocht Paradiso en nu in LolaDaMusica.
The music.
This is our first live thing. We've only been going for 2 weeks. The initial reaction in England has been amazing, so we're really pleased. So for the moment, we're like, well, we'll carry on doing this. And then we'll see, maybe that's our next stage, that we'll sort of break things down even more. So it's just one step at a time for us.
To do a perfect Basement Jaxx tour, we'd need probably about 100 people. You know, and every scene would be like a musical, and every scene would be a complete scene change, you know. And we'd come on in big frilly costumes, and we'd all be, well, not necessarily frilly, you know, but silly costumes. And everything would be like an opera in a way, you know, really dramatic, but it costs too much money, so we'll have to wait. We'll have to sell a few more records before we can do that.
Everybody go to Basement Jaxx school. What is it if you teach the facial, make sure it's not the next thing in a killing. Come here, everybody, we go a good quality and proceed that history. For me, economics, I love music. That's the way most of the everything that I want to see. Big up. 1999 Basement Jaxx tour. Big up all who buy the Remedy album. All who buy the singles from Basement Jaxx. So we continue. But I'm a fool, never know the rule. Everybody go to Basement Jaxx school. But easily if you teach the facial, make sure you're not the next victim in a killing. We have the knowledge, we got a good quality and proceed that history. For me, can I be showing love music? That's why we must have the guarantee for God want to see.
We first met in 1993, and that's when we started making music together, myself and Simon. Well, I was working at the time. I was wearing a suit in an office job every day, and I used to DJ in London and put on parties around the centre and in Brixton. And I met Simon, and I said I wanted to make some dance tracks. And I knew that he had some equipment, so I hired some time with him. I gave him some money, and I spent a day in his studio.
He'd never made a house track before, I don't think. And they came in, they were just like messing around. And they came in on 2 or 3 occasions. And then like during these sessions, I got talking to Felix, and he said to me, would I like to do something with him, do a project based on like American House that was coming out at that time.
He seemed to be very good to work with, and it seemed possible to get ideas to work quickly. So I said, would he be interested in a project to try and make American-style house music, the kind of the deep garage sound of New York. And he'd heard some of this stuff, and he was into it. He said, yeah, he'll give it a go, and he was up for it. So, and that was when we started Basement Jaxx, really.
He was a DJ, you know, and he was really obsessed with like the whole like deep house scene, the whole American thing. And so we just gave it a go. And we tried to make our records sound like the American records, and we tried to make them look like the American records as well.
In a way, we'd always probably looked at English music as not as sophisticated and slick and sexy as American music. So, but we wanted to get the British attitude, because there's something really good about that. It's about doing things wrong and saying, yeah, this is crap, but it's cool.
I mean, Chicago is part of, you know, what we based ourselves on. I suppose what we liked about the house music that came out of Chicago and New York was that it was very pure in a way, you know, very raw and kind of, I don't know, it had a real feeling to it. Whereas a lot of house music coming from Europe seemed quite sort of cosmetic in a way, a bit sort of shiny and without any real feeling. So we wanted to get back to the roots of house. And then we took that and we did something else with it, I think.
When we first started, we were just very much imitating what they were doing in America. And then, well, we started to realise that we weren't actually doing it quite the same as in America, and it had our own kind of little twist to it. And then we just decided, well, let's develop more and more of our own twist. And on this last album, we just tried to be honest and just do exactly sort of what we felt, and to forget any rules or to try and copy anyone else.
The best description, there was a description in a record shop in Canada a couple of years ago, and it said Basement Jaxx, and it had like some of our singles, and then it had this list, and it was something like soul, funk, rock, pop, industrial, disco, ragga, reggae, blah 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 blah. It was just like everything, and then it said Wicked. Yeah. So it's everything and anything really. we got a lot of recognition from people in America, well, funnily enough, from the people that we admired, from our heroes like Roger Sanchez and Armand van Helden and DJ Sneak. They were some of the first people to call us up and say, what you're doing is really, really cool. And then in England, like, people over in England seemed to be just ignoring us. You know, we felt we were very unappreciated. So, yeah, it took a long time, really. I mean, I think the only time that record companies really became interested was after Fly Life, because Multiply Records in England, they signed Fly Life and it went to the charts, and then suddenly we had all the other labels, you know, wanting to sign us. So, yeah, they all sort of jumped on the bandwagon. I don't know how many of them were really interested. I think they just thought we were maybe the cool new thing.
Fly Life, that sort of evolved at the end of a studio session. We've been working on a track called Live Your Life With Me for Karina Joseph. And we had all the samples, and often at the end of, we've done a very sort of musical, polished track. Then we'll say, oh, okay, let's just mess around with the elements and see if anything else comes out. And in Fly Life, the bam, 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 that came out, and we were just messing on the desk, and we recorded it over about 25 minutes. And that became the first Fly Life track, and we just edited it down to about 6 minutes, just so it'd do. And then we did further versions later along the line, sort of thing.
It's very simple, really. House music's very simple. But then so is rock and roll, you know. A lot of these things are very simple. It's just sometimes you hit the right button and sometimes you don't.
Rendezvous, that was That was a track we were working on for a while, and it came in many different kind of evolutionary stages. Simon had a track at first. He came in the studio, and it was, and we're working on it. And because often one of us will bring an idea, and then the other one change it around.
And I had a track that I'd done at home, which had an up feel to it. It wasn't perfect. It had a guitar in it that wasn't very nice, but it had some elements in it that were quite up and quite nice. And I played it to Felix, and he was, yeah, this is cool, but you know, it'd be better if we replace this and we replace that. And so we kind of took it apart again, and I played the guitar, played like these sort of Spanish chords. They sound Spanish chords, just 3 chords, and it kind of sounded good.
With Rendezvous, we were disappointed because the Share track came out, which used a similar voice effect, and we'd done the track sort of almost a year before, and we were like, oh no, people are going to think we're doing what Share's doing. But it's just the way it goes. I mean, you get excited. You may listen to an old record and you say, oh, that sounds really cool. It sounds fresh again. So then you're drawn to those sounds and you try and replicate it and kind of put your modern twist on it.
For us, it was very important to get the sound right, because we wanted to make it very, very soft and warm. You know, we didn't want it to be a lot of house tracks are bang, bang, bang. You know, we wanted this to be a bit more, so you don't hear the kick drum, you don't hear it punching, you just feel it throbbing.
theme on Remedy anyway is, you know, live your life, get involved in life, don't be caught up in yourself. It's like anti-ego really. It's sort of it's not a new message. It's just one that we still feel, and we feel it strongly.
Don't Give Up was it was the first track we did for the album, and well, we were tired of house music really, and we didn't really want to make a track that was going, you know, just boom, 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 boom. We wanted to do something that was expressive first and foremost, you know. So we didn't worry about rhythm or beats or dance factor. We just wanted to make something that had a feeling to it and a power to it. So we came up with the music, and then we started singing the words over it. The
whole Remedy album is very much sort of well, with the track "Don't Give Up, Don't Pull the Cracks in Your Mind Apart," so choked by analysis. It's just sort of a. I think in the late 90s, it's sort of that's a very kind of modern phenomena that we've probably got more time on our hands, and we've got more time to assess our emotional situation and our mental situation, and look around and sort of say, am I happy? I'm in this situation, am I happy then? How happy am I? And it's like, well, if you stop thinking about how happy you are, you could probably get on and be happy, and then look back and say, oh, I was happy.
Well, it was definitely something we were feeling, and also we were probably quite stressed about doing this album. We were very nervous about what the hell should we do for this album, you know. So it was Don't Give Up. It was to us as well, you know. Keep on fighting. We got Cassie, the girl who sings Bingo Bango. She works at the car hire firm. In Vauxhall in South London. Felix went in. She's on a song called You Can't Stop Me as well. And Felix went into this place to hire a car, and he met her, and he said, "Oh, do you sing, by the way?" And she started singing to him there and then. So he got a number, and then she came in and she did 2 tracks for us. So she did the little bing, 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 bingo, bango. She did that on the track. She did that.
We wanted to make sure on the album that we had a track that was very much our kind of Latin house vibe, which is a lot of people have always known us for that, of kind of a good time, sort of party music that is very good for DJs and for dancing, but is very Latin as well. And that track is really sort of, for us, the sound of the club that we used to do in London. It's the atmosphere is very up, it's very positive, it's kind of sing-alongable, it's got a toughness to it, and it's got a very musical bit in the middle. And then it goes more Latin towards the end with a bit of ska. So it's kind of it's very much kind of the energy that we had at the Basement Jaxx clubs in London.
You've been listening to the sound of Basement Jaxx. Thank you very much. You're wicked, 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 wicked. Woo!
The backing track to Red Alert was something we'd been playing as DJs for a while, and originally we had a sample of Busta Rhymes on it going, "The way you shake it, get me on the booty, oh, booty, oh, booty, oh," and that was actually the vocal on the track. And we felt that it never kind of went as far as it should do. And Blue James, who's a singer in a ska band in London, we got her into the studio because apparently she could sing like the American R&B singers.
And before she came in, we quickly wrote the lyrics, and she sounded really cool. She brought a new energy to it. She did that really high scream. We kind of tried to push her to do stuff that she wouldn't normally do, I think. But she's got that in her. She's got that scream, you know, and it's she's got a very raw voice, which makes it very alive, makes it very, very exciting. So yeah, it all worked.
And at the time, a lot of people had been talking about the millennium and all their worries and sort of too much in life, and they couldn't cope with all these problems. And we were kind of mocking that whole thing of saying, red alert, it's catastrophe. And we're saying, don't worry, don't panic, ain't nothing going on but history. And the music keeps on playing on and on. Life goes on and on. You know, people have had these problems before. Don't think that you're so special as an individual, that you've got all these little worries that are ruling your whole life, when there's a whole world out there and you just got to get stuck into it, because the music does play on and on.